Ramaphosa is a murderer and participated in the conspiracy to kill the workers in
So
Malta.
you are not prepared to withdraw?
You can take me to jail for that. Cyril has got blood of innocent
Honorable
people.
Malema,
I
thank you
will
very
never
much.
withdraw
Honorable,
that. I will never apologize to Cyril. Cyril must rot in jail. He's a murderer. He killed our
Honorable
people.
Malema, I
And if you are
asked
going to use this parliament to
Honorable
protect murderers,
Malema.
I'm not going to agree to that. So why do you switch off my mic if you want me to speak?
I don't want you to speak. I asked
But
you
why
to
did
do
you
one
ask
thing.
me to stand up? Why did you ask me to stand up?
Because I asked you to
But
withdraw.
switch on the mic.
No, I'm not going
So
to do
I'm
that.
not listening to you also. You don't want
Honorable
to listen
Malema,
to
will
me.
you please leave the house?
I'm not leaving.
Will you please
I'm not
leave
leaving.
the house?
I'm not leaving.
Honorable Malema.
Call those people to come and remove me.
Honorable Malema.
Those
How bold and courageous is Julius Malema, the founder and head of the Economic Freedom Fighters Party? Well, he does not shy away from telling the truth, no matter whether he is grilling the sitting president of the country in the parliament or a white journalist who is trying to humiliate black people. He has a reputation for saying some forbidden things that no other man can do, no matter how powerful he is in South Africa. And this comes with a cost. He is often suspended, and lawsuits are brought against him to break his courage. Often, his cases are given to white judges who can satisfy their personal grudge against Malema in giving their verdicts. Yet, despite this, Julius Malema is not stopping because his party is one of the strongest in South Africa. So, what are the moments when Julius Malema literally had his rivals in his hands and under complete control that made them feel nervous? Welcome to a new episode of Black Africa Diary, a channel where we talk about Black African history, culture, arts, and civilization. It's a place where you will see the real picture of Black Africa, its stories, and the events defining it. In this episode, we will tell you about 12 times Julius Malema shocked the world. Let's get started. Number 1. Kicking out white journalist.
Yeah, you don't laugh. Chief, can you get security to remove this thing? If you're not going to behave, you're going to call security to take you out. This is not a newsroom, this is a revolutionary house. And you don't come here with that tendency. Don't come here with that white tendency. Not yet. You can do it somewhere else. Not yet. If you've got a tendency of undermining blacks even where you work, you are in the wrong place. Yeah, you are in the wrong place. That's rubbish. And you can go out.
This confrontation occurred in April 2010 during a press conference where Julius Malema, the leader of the African National Congress Youth League, was addressing the media about his support for Zimbabwean President Robert Mugabe. The tension skyrocketed when BBC journalist Jonah Fisher pointed out the irony in Malema criticizing Zimbabwean opposition leaders for living in affluent neighborhoods, while Malema himself resided in Sandton, one of South Africa's wealthiest areas. Malema's response was swift and fierce. He verbally lashed out at Fisher, calling him a bloody agent, ultimately demanding security remove the journalist from the room. His words were as intense as his demeanor, reflecting his anger at what he saw as disrespect from the Western media. Nobody expected any African politician would ever do something to teach white journalists some manners, but Julius Malema did it. Number 2. Take me to court.
You say a lot of things about me. Should I do so? If I were
You
to
can
do
take
so,
me to
no,
court. You can,
Sakuluma.
no, nami ngiyakhuluma.
He's answering
This is
you,
not your house.
Honorable
Ngathi ngiyakhuluma
Malema.
ngathi usendleni yakho. This is not your
Honorable
house.
Malema,
This is
it's
parliament.
not your
Wena
turn.
ngisakhuluma mo.
Honorable
Ngisakhuluma
Malema.
Rakhuluma le
Point of
rina mo.
order. Honorable
Everyone
Malema.
speaks here. This is
The
our
question.
house.
No,
Yes, you
Honorable
can-
Malema, you have
can
asked
take
your
action
question.
against-
In this particular incident, it was then President Jacob Zuma who confronted Julius Malema during a parliamentary debate. Zuma directly addressed Malema, questioning his character and behavior in an attempt to undermine Malema's position and credibility as the leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters. The ANC and Democratic Alliance members were also aligned in this confrontation, likely aiming to neutralize Malema's influence and diminish his impact on the parliamentary discourse. Instead of succumbing to the pressure, Malema pushed back forcefully. When Zuma attempted to paint him as an unstable or untrustworthy leader, Malema responded with a defiant retort saying, "You can take me to court if you want." This statement was not just a dismissal of Zuma's accusations, but also a direct challenge. By suggesting legal action, Malema demonstrated that he was not afraid of being scrutinized or taken to court. Number 3, grilling the interviewer.
No, there will be a direct foreign investment in South Africa because direct foreign investment, it depends on the stability of a country.
How
it
do you
depends
reassure?
How
do you reassure the foreign investors?
No, you must give me a chance to speak unless you want to have this interview with yourself. Then we can give you a chance to speak alone.
Okay.
Because you're asking me questions, I'm responding to them,
Okay.
and that's the
Fair
whole
enough.
intention of this
Fair
conversation.
enough.
We are going to ensure that we take control of our
This tense moment unfolded in a 2019 interview when Malema was discussing foreign direct investment in South Africa. As the leader of the EFF, Malema's views on economic reform are bold, advocating for the nationalization of land and resources. During the interview, Malema became frustrated when the interviewer kept interrupting him, preventing him from fully articulating his thoughts. He sharply responded with, "No, you must give me a chance to speak unless you want to have this interview with yourself." Malema was firm in asserting his right to speak uninterrupted, which he saw as essential for properly conveying the EFF's economic policies. His irritation was clear. He believed the interruptions undermined the seriousness of the discussion. Number 4, the parliamentary clash over Jacob Zuma and the Constitutional Court.
Mr. Zuma has collapsed his own right to address us here.
Can you allow
Mr.
us to
President,
rule on the matter?
441 soldiers will never protect you.
Point of order.
Your problem is not outside.
Point of order.
Your problem is here.
Point of order.
There is no
Point of
soldier
order.
here. Here we're elected.
Honorable Malema.
You want soldiers to defend
Honorable
you.
Malema.
Let soldiers form a political party and come
Honorable
in here.
Malema, please.
Inside.
In 2016, Malema and the EFF were deeply involved in holding then-President Jacob Zuma accountable after South Africa's Constitutional Court ruled that Zuma had violated the Constitution. Zuma had misused public funds to upgrade his private residence at Nkandla, and the court demanded that he repay part of the money. In a parliamentary session, the scandal was front and center as Malema clashed with Zuma's supporters. Malema didn't hold back. He openly criticized Zuma, stating that Zuma had collapsed his own right to address us, due to his unconstitutional actions. When an ANC member attempted to defend Zuma, Malema shot back, asserting that the court had already ruled against Zuma and that defending him was a mistake. This confrontation showed Malema's reputation as a fearless critic of corruption, especially within the ANC, the party he once belonged to. His persistent calls for Zuma's accountability showcased his commitment to constitutionalism and anti-corruption measures, themes that have become central to his political narrative. Before we continue further, tell us, are you enjoying the video? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on Black Africa. Let's continue now. Number 5, debate over rules. During presidential address,
You are making a mistake because you are reading my mind.
Honorable Malema.
Allow me,
Honorable Malema.
please, Speaker, can I speak? Because
On what?
on the
Honorable?
same points that members are raising, you are not doing me any favor, and none of these people who are howling are doing me any favor. It is within my right to speak as a member of this house and remind you that it is incorrect of you to want to suggest that when the president speaks, you suspend the rules. The rules are not suspended, and the rules must apply even when the president speaks.
in one memorable moment, Julius Malema confronted the Speaker of the South African Parliament. He stood firm, asserting his right to speak as a member of the House, and voiced his frustration with how the session was being managed. Specifically, Malema challenged the way the Speaker handled the application of parliamentary rules during President Jacob Zuma's address. Malema argued that the Speaker was not treating individual members fairly. He felt that the Speaker was addressing members as a collective, rather than respecting each person's right to be heard independently. Number 6. Accusation of murder against Cyril Ramaphosa.
6.
Will you please withdraw the remarks that Honorable Ramaphosa was engaged in the conspiracy to commit murder and that he is a murderer?
Cyril is a murderer, and Cyril participated in the conspiracy to murder
A
workers.
point of order, Chair.
I will come to your point of order. Are you going to withdraw, Honorable Malema?
Cyril Ramaphosa is a murderer and participated in the conspiracy to kill the workers in
So
Malta.
you are not prepared to withdraw?
You can take me to jail for that. Cyril has got blood of innocent.
In another explosive moment, Malema shocked Parliament by accusing Cyril Ramaphosa, who later became president of South Africa, of being a murderer. This accusation stemmed from Ramaphosa's involvement in the Marikana massacre, a tragic event in 2012 where police shot and killed 34 striking miners. Despite multiple requests from the Speaker and other members of Parliament to withdraw his statement, Malema stood his ground. He claimed that Ramaphosa had blood of innocence on his hands and refused to back down, even as tensions escalated in the chamber. Malema was eventually asked to leave, but resisted, daring the authorities to remove him by force, much like, in his words, Ramaphosa's forces had removed the miners at Marikana. Number 7. Clash with the Speaker.
When honorable members agreed on those boys there.
Honorable Speaker.
We have never agreed on those people. Please, we are not taking any more points from you.
Just a brief
And therefore, if you are not going to cooperate with us, we will peacefully ask you to please leave the chamber.
Yes, I'm going to do exactly that. All I'm saying is that you are so prepared to chase people who violate the rules and keep a man who violate the constitution.
Honorable
You are
Malema,
prepared to chase out
Honorable
people
Malema,
who are protecting the constitution
please
in the name of the rules.
leave the
If there is
chamber.
anyone who must leave,
Honorable
it's this
Malema,
one.
leave the chamber.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm elected here.
We will assist.
In another fiery exchange, Malema directed his frustration at the Speaker of Parliament. He accused her of being irrational, partisan, and impatient, even going as far as saying that these qualities were why she had failed to become president. Malema argued that the Speaker had been used by former President Jacob Zuma, who, according to Malema, had manipulated her by promising political support, only to later abandon her. Number 8. Grilling the racist and apartheid defender.
Did apartheid teach white people to hate black people?
No.
Apartheid didn't teach
Because
them.
there were many people that I knew as a child that did not hate people from the other color.
Apartheid shame taught white people to love black people. Is that what you are saying to me? That's why it was so nice, apartheid. That's why you joined the army.
No, that's not what I said.
In this tense moment, Julius Malema challenged an individual's understanding of apartheid, pressing them on whether apartheid actively taught white people to hate black people. The person he was speaking to argued that not all white people adopted the hateful ideology of apartheid. However, Malema's line of questioning aimed to expose the inherent racism and violence that defined the apartheid system. He continued to press, asking directly whether apartheid was built on teaching white people to hate black people, emphasizing that the system itself was rooted in the belief of white racial superiority. Number 9. You're not doing me a favor.
I want to finish what I'm saying.
No, but you can't finish when I'm raising a point of order.
Honorable Malema, just give me an opportunity to finish what I'm saying.
Can you
And then
recognize me on a point of
remember that, Honorable Malema, I did what I could do, giving you almost 30 minutes to present.
But you're not doing me a favor. You are not doing me a favor.
Not necessarily.
Never
that's a
think you're
favor.
doing me a favor.
But what I'm saying is that
You must never think you're doing me a favor for listening to me.
Yes.
You charged me and you're going to listen to me.
In this exchange, Julius Malema expressed frustration with how the Speaker of Parliament was managing the session. He felt as though the Speaker was acting like listening to him was a favor, rather than respecting his right to speak as a member of Parliament. After the Speaker allowed him time to present his case but interrupted when Malema raised a point of order, Malema responded strongly, asserting that it wasn't a favor to hear him out. It was his right. He made it clear that he would not tolerate being undermined or patronized. Number 10. Teaching the Speaker of Parliament.
Emma, I am not going to continue giving you an opportunity for a point of privilege, which in fact is about abusing this House.
Honorable Speaker, one of the things that you may have to come to terms with is that we have a right to speak here. And it doesn't matter whether you are irritated by our input or not. You must...
In this instance, Julius Malema was pushing back against the Speaker of the South African Parliament, firmly asserting his right to speak as a member of Parliament. Malema made it clear that whether the Speaker or others found his comments irritating or disruptive, it didn't diminish his right to express his views. He accused the Speaker of attempting to silence him and his colleagues by limiting their opportunities to contribute to the discussion. His message was simple: discomfort or disagreement didn't justify shutting down their voices. Number 11. Warn before eviction.
I'm going to now ask...
No, wait.
I'm going to ask the Sergeant at Arms to allow you to go out. To assist you to go out.
Honorable Speaker, you didn't warn her. You must warn her first. Warn her first. You can't call Sergeant at Arms as a first act. Warn her first. You cannot abuse power like that. Otherwise, we are taking you on review. You are acting unconstitutionally. You must...
Here, Malema took issue with the Speaker's immediate call for the Sergeant at Arms to remove a fellow member of Parliament. He argued that the Speaker was bypassing proper procedure, which should involve issuing a formal warning before escalating to physical removal. Since the member in question was already seated, Malema saw no reason for such drastic measures and accused the Speaker of abusing her power by jumping straight to force without giving the individual a chance to comply voluntarily. Number 12. Trump is inspired by Malema.
Because the procedure is such that you must rule on Coldridge before you give him. You broke your own rules, so allow me to proceed.
Proceed.
Yes. Thank you very much, Chairperson of the NCOP. Sitting in front of us here, it's a man who
Are you
is
on a point of
incorrigible.
order?
An incorrigible man, rotten to the core. And that has been found by the Constitutional Court. And this story that
Honorable
you voted,
Malema.
the story
Honorable
that you
Malema.
voted majority to keep him, it doesn't make him
Honorable
a
Malema,
legitimate
that is not
president.
a point of order.
But listen to me. Listen
That
to
is
me.
not a point of order.
Julius Malema, the leader of the economic freedom fighters in South Africa, once made a bold statement that highlighted his fiery and combative approach to politics. "I am not Nelson Mandela. If you push me, I will push back." This declaration speaks to Malema's distinctly different leadership style compared to that of Nelson Mandela, the globally revered leader who became known for his emphasis on reconciliation and forgiveness after decades of apartheid oppression. In contrast, Julius Malema represents a more confrontational and unapologetic approach to politics. His leadership style is built on pushing back against what he views as continued economic and racial inequalities in South Africa, even after the fall of apartheid. Malema's statement about not being like Mandela and his refusal to simply forgive signifies a break from the narrative of reconciliation that defined Mandela's leadership. Malema has demonstrated this pushing back attitude in several key moments throughout his political career. For example, in the context of land expropriation without compensation, Malema has consistently pushed for radical land reform in South Africa, advocating for the expropriation of land from white landowners without compensation. What do you think? Is Julius Malema the kind of president South Africa needs due to his bold actions? Isn't it true that he knows the situation of the common people, unlike those in politics who do not care about ordinary people at all? In the comment section right below, share your thoughts on which of these moments is your favorite. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We bring videos on Black Africa, its history, rich arts and culture, and things the world should know about. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.